To Sar, according to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, Chapter 10, Nirvana, supreme bliss cannot be experienced through contact of the senses with their objects. The supreme state is that in which the mind is annihilated through one pointed inquiry. The bliss arising from the contact of the senses with their objects is inferior. Contact with the sense objects is bondage. Freedom from it is liberation. Attain the pure state between existence and non existence and hold on to it. Do not accept or reject the inner or the outer world. Depend always on that true reality between the sentient and the inert, which is the infinite, space like heart. The belief in a knower and the known is called bondage. The knower is bound by the known. He is liberated when there is nothing to know. Abandoning the ideas of seer, seen, and sight along with latent desires, vasanas of the past, we meditated on that self which is the primal light, that is the basis of sight. We meditate on the eternal self, the light of lights, which lies between the two ideas of existence and non existence. We meditate on that self of consciousness, the bestower of the fruits of all our thoughts, the illuminator of all radiant objects, and the farthest limit of all accepted objects. We meditate on that immutable self, our reality, the bliss of which arises in the mind on account of the close contact between the seer and the seen. If one meditates on that state, which comes at the end of the waking state and the beginning of sleep, he will directly experience undecaying bliss. The rock like state in which all thoughts are still and which is different from the waking and dream state is one's supreme state. Like mud in a mud pot, the Supreme Lord, who is existence and space like consciousness and bliss exist everywhere, non separate from things. The self shines by itself as the one boundless ocean of consciousness agitated by waves of thought. Just as the ocean is nothing but water, the entire world of things is nothing but consciousness, filling all the quarters like the infinite space. Brahman and space are alike as to their indivisibility, all pervasiveness and indestructibility, but Brahman is also consciousness. There is only the one waveless and profound ocean of pure nectar, sweet through and through, that is blissful everywhere. All this is truly Brahman, all this is Atma. Do not cut up Brahman into I am one thing and this is another. As soon as it is realized that Brahman is all pervasive and indivisible, this vast samsara is found to be the Supreme Lord. One who realizes that everything is Brahman truly becomes Brahman, who would not become immortal if he were to drink nectar. If you are wise, you would become this Brahman, but such conviction, if not even if you are repeatedly told it, would be useless like offering thrown on ashes. Even if you have known the real truth, you have to practice always. Water will not become clear by merely uttering the word katka fruit. If one has the firm conviction, I am the Supreme Self, called the undecaying Vasudeva, he is liberated, otherwise he remains bound. After eliminating everything as not this, the Supreme Being, lit state which cannot be eliminated remains. Think I am that and be happy. Know always that the self is Brahman, one and whole. How can that which is indivisible be divided into I am the meditator and the other is the object of meditation? When one thinks I am pure consciousness, it is called meditation, and When even the idea of meditation is forgotten, it is samadhi. The constant flow of mental concepts relating to Brahman without the sense of I, achieved through intense practice of self inquiry, jnana, is what is called Samprajnata Samadhi, meditation with concepts. Let violent winds, which characterize the end of aeons, kalpas, blow. Let all the ocean unite. Let the 12 sun burn simultaneously. Still no harm befalls one whose mind is extinct. That consciousness, which is the witness of the rise and fall of all beings, know that to be the immortal state of supreme bliss. Every moving or unmoving thing whatsoever is only an object visualized by the mind. When the mind is annihilated, duality, that is multiplicity, is not perceived. That which is immutable, auspicious, and tranquil, that in which this world exists, that which manifests itself as the mutable and immutable objects, that is the soul consciousness. Before discarding the slough, the snake regards as itself, but when once it has discarded it in its whole, it doesn't look upon it as itself any longer. He who has transcended both good and evil doesn't, like a child, refrain from prohibited acts from a sense of sin, nor does he do what is prescribed from a sense of merit. Just as a statue is contained in a pillar that is blocked, even if it is not actually carved out, so also the world exists in Brahman. Therefore, the supreme state is not a void. Just as a pillar is said to be devoid of the statue when it has not actually been carved out, so also Brahman is also to be void when it is devoid of the impression of the world. Just as still water may be said to contain or not contain ripples, so also Brahman may be said to contain or not contain the world. It is neither void nor existence. Hari Om Tat Sat.